What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology. The Titans action spawning in the bottom of the map in the red color, playing as Zeus. His name is Mrboat. His opponent today in the blue color, playing as Zeus as well. His name is HellsRavage. The map is Mediterranean. And this is a best of 3 for the Champions League. Thank you so much to Go Utes Go for the Prime just as we kick things off. Very much appreciated, my friend. This is game number 1 between these gentlemen, playing some of the Age of Mythology for us. HellsRavage going with the tried and true Zeus here. Mrboat, known for his Odin plays, deciding to try his hand at Zeus. He's a strong god for this map. There's not really any gods that can kind of beat Zeus on this map just outright, whereas like the Odin has quite a few poor matchups, like such as Zeus, or possibly a Kronos as well could be a big issue. We do both see them both doing fairly similar starts here, sending immediate villagers over onto this storehouse here and then eating their pigs straight away, trying to find them. That's going to be the most important thing. The most important thing is finding these pigs and sending them home for Zeus in the start of this game. We can see both players doing similar stuff here. Hells has got 3 pigs, got 2 more coming in, so he's going to be fine. Not going to have any issues there. We do see him going for what looks like 6 villages here on wood. It's going to allow him to get somewhere 10 fishing ships or something like that, and getting up at 4:30. We've definitely seen these sorts of builds so far. Both players using the town bell here to get a little bit of immediate dumpage of these villages, but that's making these villages go idle here. Same with Hells. It's better to, if you have the hotkey on garrison, it's better to grab your villages, push Alt, right click on the town center, and then hit your eject hotkey straight away. And that's going to be just as fast as the double town bell without having to make these villages go idle for half a second or whatever. It's not like that big of a deal, but it's a thing and it's important to know. So temple coming up now for HellsRavage. Same thing should be happening for Mrboat. Mrboat actually going for another house first. Does he need to go for that? Looks like he doesn't really, but he will run into those problems. Hells is going a little bit slower here. I think he has 1 less fishing ship. Going 6 fishing ship before producing more, whereas Mrboat's actually on 8. So Mrboat significantly in front on the fishing ship. So we'll see if that matters at all here. And it's either that, like this temple going up this fast means he should be advancing now, right? Not quite there. He could advance about 15 seconds later, which is about right. We'll see. We've got the temple coming up for Mrboat here. He's building that final villager. Did have some idle villager time for himself here. Sitting at 280 food. Could potentially just dump all his fishing ships in while this villager is getting produced here, and we'll have enough food. Same for HellsRavage to advance about this time. We do see Athena coming through for Hells, putting his villagers over onto the the gold mine there before sending villagers over onto the wood. He needs to send a villager forward to get this second dock up, which he has done. And Hells just sitting with only 8 fishing ships here compared to Mrboat, who's really fished this out with 11 fish. This may be too many, to be honest. The dock's coming down for Mrboat. We do see he's at 35% to 46%, so it's about 10% difference. So about 6 seconds late to the classical age, or behind Hells in this one, but big difference is the fishing ship here. So Hells has got a pretty big task here for himself to be able to pick off so many fishing ships to stay relevant here. Otherwise, the extra fish that Mrboat's gathering is going to become quite a bit of extra food. So we may see an earlier heroic age or aggressive push from Mrboat or something like that. Only 6 villagers on the gold, for Mrboat, and 7 from HellsRavage here. 7 is sort of the magic number for 2 docks. I think you can pretty much support the two docks with 50 gold each with only 7. Well, we do see that Mrboat's getting a slight fishing ship bug there, gets it sorted out very, very fast now. We do see the trireme coming out. I imagine there's going to be some sort of a bolt on these. Mrboat not actually doing it yet. Instead, he's just taking a bunch of damage before retreating away. And there's the next trireme coming out. And Hell's going to be turning back before regrouping with 4 of these triremes. Going to be 3 trireme for Mrboat, so a significant advantage here. Mrboat does cast the bolt down. So does Hell's. I think that was on the full HP ship there. So both players are still in a very similar position that they were in, with both players actually being on 44 population right now. So very, very even here. We see the Minotaur coming in for HellsRavage as well. It will be greeted by Mrboat's Minotaur. Very important to make sure that you are aware of this and use your special ability first here. We do see the Minotaur coming in. I don't think you can use the special ability on villagers. Oh, and he gets headbutted out. He comes in and he said, nah, you're not allowed in here. You're not allowed in here at all. Still, Hells with the slight numbers advantage on the triremes, but this is really smart from Mrboat. You don't have to push out. He's got the fishing ship advantage. He hasn't taken any damage there at all. We just see the Minotaur coming back in, and they both attack each other as Hells' Minotaur does win that initial fight, and then Mrboat's going to headbutt that Minotaur back into the town center. We do see Hells moving in here, trying to make some ground here, pick off some fishing ship. But this one just gets sort of pushed away. Mrboat not paying attention. It's very important to make sure that your boats are never leaving their spot here. Almost losing this fishing ship. Never a bad idea to just send the fishing ship over to a different area here, like this fishing spot here, when they're low HP, nice and out of the way. But it's looking like Mrboat not going for that. We're going to be sending it back, and that's going to be a weakness there for him a little bit later if Hells can come in or sneak in and snipe that one there. We'll see if he can get that one happening or not. Catastropus moving in, going to be doing some scouting here. This is really important to continually scout your opponent's resources. Make sure you're checking how many villages they've got on gold, if they're gathering any food, whatever is going on there. We do see the restoration coming down from Mrboat. No stop command here, so you can see these low HP boats, they only go up to about 188 HP instead of up to full HP. If you stop command your ships, you do get a lot of HP back. No restoration from Hells. There's the restoration, but already lost 2 boats there. So now if we check out the population here, we do have 80 population for Mrboat to 66 for HellsRavage. So a very large advantage right now for Mrboat here. So we'll see if he can utilize his naval advantage right now, or if he's just going to keep playing on the defensive. Almost losing some low HP trireme. Nice micro from Hells. Needs to pick off those low HP ones. Does pick it off there. There's still a bunch of low HP trireme in the front here that Hells can pick off to even out this fight. Now, Mrboat trying to focus fire micro here while Hells is pulling back a lot of these ships, doing a lot of spread damage here. So lots of low HP triremes in the back, and HellsRavage going to be retreating away yet again, leaving that fight, evening things up a little bit. 82 pop to 75 as Hells is catching up a little bit here. Picks off another trireme. Now we've got 18 for Mrboat to 19 for HellsRavage. Still no sort of movement here into getting Jason's or Odysseus. The third dock's coming down now for Hells. Always important to get that third dock down when you can afford it, so that you can start producing even more trireme if you want to win the water, or simply just for the defensive nature of the docks. Having 3 docks in that spot is very important. Mrboat is microing a little bit too many boats here. You need to make sure you're only microing back the boats that need to retreat. So if you've got like a bunch that are bumping into each other, you can pull these 3 back, for example, and they can immediately all pull back. You never want to pull back like more than that, otherwise you lose out on a lot of damage per second. But Mrboat playing nicely for this at this point in the game. HellsRavage still trying to put the pressure on. Ship numbers here look like Hells is caught up on the population quite significantly here, 79 to 85. And not only that, fishing ship getting brought forward for Mr. Boat, trying to tank some damage here to allow Mr. Boat to win this fight a little bit more. And it seems like it's worked a little bit, but the fishing ships do get picked off, and that's actually going to bring the fishing ship numbers to about even here. It was 8 to 8 at this point. Yeah, 8 to 8. So nice play there by Hells, taking advantage of that, but still a big advantage on the food for Mr. Boat just because he had them for longer. Now Hells trying to push in, doing his thing. We see the villagers already moving out onto this gold mine, looking to grab this town center as well. I like the move early here because this gold mine's only got 600, so you never want to have that expire and then walk over to your gold mine. You can find yourself in a bit of trouble if you do go for that, and Hells is very, very much on top of that one there. As the trireme pushing forward here. Needs to get this concave a bit better. Nice concave for Mr. Boat, going to do a lot of damage to these HellsRavage boats, and he does notice it. Going to be retreating them back here for the time being. And you see Mr. Boat with a lot of wood in the bank here, so if he can get that gold out as well, he will be able to get his second. I tell a lie, he's already got the town center going up, and Hells on the other hand hasn't started it, so small advantage so far for Mr. Boat. But he is on the back foot at this point. Odysseus is going to come in and try and assist here. 8 damage does help out quite a bit. 8 pierce damage helps out quite a bit against these triremes, with the help of the dock as well. And nice micro from Hells to pull these boats back, and Hells going to be attempting to push forward, but I don't think he has the numbers advantage here. It's very, very close. 15 to what looks like 11 plus the dock makes it very, very even fights, but Hells retreating anyways. And triremes coming back as well. See the Jason coming forward and archery range going up for Hells, just being a little bit preemptive there. A little bit without that Catastropus. Where is it? I don't know what he did. If he lost it, you should be scouting these town centers going up, so you have to, so you're aware. And now Hells sees the town center. We'll see what his decision is here. Looks like the trireme just going to kind of go all in here. He does have the numbers advantage significantly right now because the town center went up. And Mr. Boat's still trying to build his trireme out, but he's probably lost this water here. It would be better for him to just sacrifice the water at this point, stop these trireme, get the third town center up, and boom as hard as he can while defending, because the advantage that Hells is going to have now is he's going to have the fish eco to support the 3 town center spam, whereas Mr. Boat's going to have the town center, early town center advantage, so he's going to have a couple more villagers out. And if he can keep that town center up for about, like 2 minutes, then he will catch up on that fish boom here. So he just needs a little bit of extra time on the 2 town centers than Hells is, and he's going to be fine for just sacrificing that there. We do see a nice little point out from Odinolf that the town centers are in water range here. So they have to be wary of that for the mid game or the late game, because that means he's going to have to rebuild these docks and make sure that he can defend against any sort of siege ships, because you can get a lot of value out of those siege ships in the late game, because they cost very low population compared to every other siege weapon, and they do very, very well against the town centers. Take them down very fast. We do see Mr. Boat pushing forward now with military academies, trying to secure these deer. Actually looks like Mr. Boat's kind of going all out here. A lot of the time we've seen people go these 3 town center booms and it not work out too well for him because they just fall too far behind on the tech. So Mr. Boat's going to try and get some value out of these units here. HellsRavage has got both of his town centers up already. Jason getting pushed back here by the Jason and Odysseus with Mr. Boat. Minotaur still alive from the early game, the early skirmish there. He can just walk over and kill these Toxotes. Hell's not paying attention here. May lose at least one of them. The Minotaur does like 120 hack damage with that headbutt, so the Toxotes just die in one shot. So Minotaur picks off 2 of those while the Toxotes trying to do a little bit of damage to the Jason. Odysseus does manage to snipe that Minotaur, and now we see him retreating. Got 5 military buildings here. Going to be spamming out Toxotes. If we check out the population here, Hells is up 105 to 73, but a lot of that is in archer ships here. In fact, 28 of it is in archer ships, so the population is actually very, very equal on the land here. So we'll see how it goes. I love these storehouse getting rebuilt here by Hells. Something that I don't see enough players doing. If we check out Mrboat, he's kind of on the same thing-ish. Nice storehouse placements. Because it gives you a lot more resources. So it costs 50 wood plus a villager to put it up. But every single moment these villagers are walking is a time they're not gathering resources. And every single animation you get is an extra couple of resources. So replacing those storehouses is definitely worth it at every single moment you possibly can. And we do see that from Hell. So nice play from him. He's going to have a lot of extra wood because of it. We check out the upgrades. We do see bowsaw and pickaxe for Mrboat. We've got plow, husbandry pickaxe, hand axe. Medium archers coming through for Hells. It's not the best technology, the medium archers. It's one of those technologies we always saw Magyar just neglecting, because 10% of 6.5 plus 10% of 60 compared to the 10% of 115, which is like almost double the HP, and 8 is significantly more for the hoplites. So it doesn't seem as worth it to get that medium Toxotes, and you do see the unupgraded Toxotes able to push through these medium Toxotes of HellsRavage, who's pulling back, building up some farms himself as he's struggling a little bit for food. Check out the fishing ships he does have per scene, so they will be giving him quite the excess food right now. And Mrboat's actually boomed really, really nicely off this town center grab here. I think he may be full villagers because he's no longer building them anymore. He just needs more villagers on the gold mine and possibly get a shaft mine, which he is getting. HellsRavage on the other hand getting age 3 through Apollo. Apollo, the standard god of choice here, allows you to jump around the map and do some surprise attacks. Really good against immobile armies such as the Greek ball here of Toxotes and hoplites. You can come through Apollo, this back location here, and do a lot of damage there. So we'll see if that's exactly what Hells is going to do. He's making hoplite from only 1 military academy, so he's not going to have the infantry to just tear down the town center as soon as he hits the heroic age. You see wooden walls coming up now for Mrboat. And the archery range going down as Mrboat's putting a lot of pressure onto HellsRavage right now. And he should be going through Apollo himself fairly soon. He's getting medium cavalry though. It's a little bit strange. I would have thought he would have tried to rush that one a bit faster. Random archery range here. I'm not sure how he snuck a villager over here, but he did. There's the medium archers out for Mrboat to level this one. Hippocon coming in. These Hippocon here, I think they're more for darting back and forth than anything else. Like, I don't think you should be attacking with them. They're just supposed to be a distraction when you only have one of them. If you have more than one, you can use them and they're nice. But just one of them, just use that 5.5 speed to distract them. We just see the Manticores out here. You've got to focus that one down and actually Alt X your army here. Alt X is the default hotkey for spread formation to dodge the Manticore special ability, special volley. 6 projectiles of 15 pierce each. Which is quite a lot of damage. So if you Alt X them, it misses a lot of them as well. And there's the underworld passage from Hells. He's found this gold mine, but there's really not that many units over here at all. This is not the best underworld passage I've ever seen. And if we see Mrboat, he should be on his way through to Apollo. He's actually got there, so he can underworld to defend against this if he wants. Just looking like he's going to do, going right in next to this underworld passage here. You'll be able to pick off a lot of these Toxotes before retreating back into the underworld passage. Not sure what Hells' plan was there. And this underworld passage is going to go down very fast. And now Mrboat's got both sides. He can just warp around here. And Hell's actually deciding to come through here. Loses a couple of units. A little bit of a mistake there, but no problems. Mrboat defends nicely here. And we're returning back to the top spot, trying to push forward. To see a fortress coming up now for Mrboat. Hephaestus coming through for Hells, so he's going to have a big advantage here. The question is, does he have the favor? He's got the favor. He's got a lot of resources in the bank, so he's going to be able to get those armory upgrades very, very fast. There's HellsRavage's Hephaestus irrigation coming through for Hells as well. Still no Hephaestus for Mrboat. I don't think he's got his market up yet either. He's pushing forward. There's the market going up now as Mrboat wants to get through to Hephaestus. And this is going to allow Hells to have a huge timing here. The Forge of Olympus takes 30 seconds. So that's a minute of, or a minute and a half-ish of advantage on the armor here. So we'll see if he can utilize it at all. If he can upgrade enough of it, gets up to bronze first, nice and fast, very cheap. The iron ones are still a little bit slow, but we'll see what he goes for. And naval auxiliaries coming through for Hell, so very smart here. He's got the water control, so immediate naval auxiliaries. We do see some docks trying to come down for Mrboat, but Hells has left a bunch of trireme here, which is very, very smart. We see Mrboat going for this location now. He's got all these heavy hoplites, and then now we see the Hephaestus coming through now for Mrboat. Copper weapons, copper mail coming through as well. Still no... Oh, there's the Juggernauts coming through. He needs to get a bunch of those out to push onto that town center, which I don't think Mrboat's going to have that much of a option here to stop. We do see the trireme stopping these villagers from putting the dock up here. Maybe I would actually get it because this trireme is becoming idle for some reason. Do see Hell's coming in with some Toxotes. And Hell's finally deciding to target this down here. And he's going to be able to finish those villagers off, prevent the units from doing anything. Olympic Parent is coming in as the Bellerophon jumps in. Can't be throwing away your Bellerophon that easily. That's a lot of HP lost. It's a very expensive unit. We do see these Toxotes pushing through, doing their thing. Actually focusing down the Manticore for some reason. It's got 60% Pierce armor, so it's definitely not the best unit to be targeting down. Now we've got some Juggernauts coming out for Hells. He's got two here. Hephaestus comes through for Mrboat. And how far ahead in the armor is Hells at this point? He's got a lot of bronze. He hasn't got his copper. He hasn't got his shields yet, which is a big mistake considering the bulk of the damage coming through at this point is probably these Toxotes here. And now the Oxy Juggernaut going after the town center. It's got fortified town centers, no masons. Third Oxy Juggernaut coming in. Mrboat is not paying attention to this at all, and this could be a big problem for him because he hasn't managed to get his dock back up just yet. See the villagers. We spotted it. He looked at the villagers to move them over here, but he hasn't noticed the Juggernauts going after his town center just yet. Fortunately, he's going to be able to pick off one of them with the town center fire here. Maybe, maybe not. And now we've got the Heliopolis coming in, going to be able to hit this town center. I think if Mrboat commits hard enough onto this town center, he can trade the water town center for this town center here, which is not in the range of water, which could be a really, really smart idea. And then just continue as if, and just continue on like two town centers. But he's not committing to it at all. There's enough Toxotes here to prevent him. And the Colossus here taking up some damage. We do see another temple coming up now for Mrboat. Is going to be wanting to attack this with some Colossus. Colossus against Zeus is a good option. They don't have any insta-kill heroes. The Bellerophon special attack only does 100 hack damage. So against the Colossus is probably only doing a little bit of damage. We see the Toxotes come in for a little raid now for Hells at this point. He's still sneaking Toxotes all the way around the map here. And still pushing in. Bellerophon coming in. We jumping into this army. One hits a Peltast. Love it. We just see four of these Juggernauts. You probably don't need that many, but it is only, what is this? 3 population, so it's only 12 population. No, yes, 12 population to stop 20 population of Mrboat. So it's a good trade to keep it down. And Hell's putting up his fortress now. Heliopolis moving forward. Picking everything off. The Bellerophon dies yet again. It's just not taking care of that Bellerophon. And if you treat your Bellerophon how you treat your Son of Osiris, it's a very, very powerful unit. And the Heliopolis is going to be picking off this fortress that just got built here. No masons at all. Lots of resources for Mrboat though. He's got 4,000 food somehow. What is he doing with all this food? We are seeing a dot coming up now for Mrboat. He needs wood. Well, he needs some units basically. He's just not producing fast enough. Not enough military buildings or something. He's trying to build everything at this point. Still building Peltast. I don't like Peltast. Everybody knows how I feel about Peltast. They're just too hard to micro. You have to be like constantly microing, constantly focus firing the Peltast onto the Toxotes. Whereas Toxotes, they work very well at everything that's in front of them apart from Siege. So it's just better in my opinion. Boat's got some copper upgrades to Hell's iron upgrades. Almost has iron shields as well. A Colossus coming in now for Mrboat. It's got the Ford Temple. He's going to be pushing in. Do see some heroes pumping out right now for Hell's. Getting out his engineers as well. He's actually going to be running out of gold very soon though. Has he started his trade route? He has, but it's not very big. If we check out the map, he doesn't have any other gold mines on his side. So this could be a big opportunity here for Mrboat, who's got complete cold control. And even though he's down 2 town centers, he may be able to make this push work. You do see the Heracles coming out, 620 HP to deal with. Going to go straight onto that Colossus without the Toxotes. It's really hard to kill this unit. But the fortress will be going down. Now the Bellerophon coming out. Will it be out in time? It does not look like it's going to get out in time. Colossus does go down, but another one takes its place. Now Hell's moving forward with his villagers. Not a bad idea to just start putting some towers up over here. Break through these walls and take this. Looks like he's going for it. The villagers racing through that underworld passage for some reason. Coming over to this gold mine. I think Mrboat knows that Hell's is lacking gold here. And he is mining it. He needs to put up a mining camp first. Otherwise we'll run away. A storehouse, I should say. Fortress now coming up for Mrboat. And there's the storehouse. We'd love to see some fortress or something like that. Potentially send some units through this to raid those villages. Hell's sitting with 500 gold in the bank though, so he's still fine. Making some Mrboat. I don't like Mrboat in the Greek wars. For some reason they don't get bonus damage against Greek units, so they're kind of just like a hoplite. Except three population hoplite. So the stats are relatively comparable, I guess. Ish. I don't know. Maybe if you have weapons of the Titans. And there's the raid from Mrboat to push the villagers back. That's what the underworld passage is there for. We do see a transport ship coming in as Hell's making his way to grab this town center. Nice play here. Throwing out the fortress. This is also going to break down Mrboat's trade route. Though it's a small trade route, it's still going to be a pain. And looking like Mrboat is about to crumble to this. Some villagers moving forward to help out. Building a fortress here. Toxotes doing a lot of damage here to the Greek army. And they're all making their way at this slow route. It would have been probably faster to jump through the Migdol. And come, not the Migdol, the underworld passage, and then come back here. I do see some trireme still here to help pick off these units. We'll see if the town center can get put up in time. We see a fortress coming up now for Mrboat. This is going to be fairly close. Probably could have sent these villagers instead of putting up the fortress to just attack the town center here. But it's looking like the town center will get up here. Peltas will be able to pick off a villager very, very slowly, and there's the town center up. He's going to immediately be targeting down that fortress now. The army of Mrboat coming in to try and tear this down. How do you have 4,000 food? What even is that? It's just like he's not spending it. It's actually wild. We're taking down the fortress now. But we'll see if Mrboat can, or HellsRavage can defend against this. Sending his army forward now to attack this. Mrboat with not full upgrades yet. He still needs Iron Mail, which is on its way. Hands of Talus coming through for HellsRavage, which I can never remember what it does. I think it's in the armory, right? Oh, don't know. Town center, apparently. Nope. And the looks like the siege is sort of being picked off here. There's still one left. There's not a lot of units here for Hells. He's really struggling to finish this game off. Still sitting with 700 gold. Has very little food in the bank. Sitting at 180 population though. Lots of idle units. She could try and kill off this underworld passage while this is all going on. You see some sentry towers coming up now for Hells. Getting prevented here by the Petropolis of Mrboat. Town center gets picked off. Villagers coming in now. Maybe he could sneak up this town center with like 20 villagers or something. Considering he's got so much, so many resources. Just take all your villagers off and just come over here and try and get the town center back very, very fast. We do see Hells targeting down the underworld passage now. This is going to get picked off very, very fast. Only 1800 health here and very low crush armor as well. Or just armor in general, I guess. Now the Silver Colossus moving in. This is a really strong army here. Or just really strong at taking down buildings and such. You see the town center getting very close to going, or not close to going up. But the Heliopolis defending this, picking off those siege ships. Love to see some more docks getting thrown up for Mrboat now. In this location here while this is all going on. Get the raids on the fish economy of Hells and secure the water a little bit more. Do we see some, the transport ship? What's it do? There's nothing in it. There's nothing in the transport ship. Gold Colossus coming in. Targeting down the town center instantly. They should be able to get there. They're very slow though. Only 3.0 speed. Look at them go. They're actually not fast enough. So the town center's going to get up for Mrboat. Trying to put a ghost building there to prevent him from coming in. Nice play there to delay this. And the Gold Colossus just can't quite get there. Hells has begun researching the secrets of the Titans now. I'm sure Mrboat can chase this down. He needs a bit more wood, but see if he can do it. The Colossus, they've only got 80% crush armor, so the Heliopolis actually do a little bit more damage than you'd think against myth units. They're able to pick off the Colossus quite fast. Hell's still sitting at full resources here, full population, still very much alive even though he's lost this position. You can just keep taking this town center down with Oxy Juggernauts. Doesn't have to worry too much about it. You see the Heliopolis over here. It's a lot of population invested in and stopping this as well. And the amount of damage these siege ships do because of burning pitch as well is pretty huge. The dock coming off for Hells, some towers coming up for Mrboat. He's actually running out of gold as well. He's got a little bit of gold over the other side of the map, still has this gold mine. So not too worried about the trade, I guess. Mrboat making a push in. Still doesn't have like champion anything yet. He's full armory upgrades, but no champion anything. Let's consider getting that at some point. There's the Titan Gate coming up now for HellsRavage. This one, against Zeus, the Titan Gate's not that important. You can defend against a Titan Gate or against a Titan without a Titan. You just make all your heroes and you chase it around, send your Heliopolis around after it as well. Like 4 heroes cost, what are they, like 2, 4, 7. And then the Bellerophon is what, 4? Yeah, it's like 11 pop to chase around a 20 pop Titan. Now Mrboat actually still pushing through here. He may actually be able to take down the town center. He's taking down the fortress here. Fortress coming up for Mrboat. Doing the things. Still trying to squash Hells here, but even if he takes down the town center, it's just going to get grabbed back by the Titan. So he needs to be thinking about Titan Gate for himself. I think would be the easiest option here. He has to play so defensive. I can't believe he still hasn't thrown up docks yet. Just throw up some docks, my friend. Watchtowers pushing Mrboat off this gold mine for the time being. A little bit sneaky. Hells just has so many villages, I think. How many does he have? It's pretty crazy. We check that out, actually. 123. It's a lot of villages, man. That's just Chrono JJ amount of villages. And then the Titan's like gonna take up all the he's only gonna have what 20 population for the army after the Titan's out as well, which is kind of funny. At this point in the game, you sort of want to delete these far fishing ships away from the docks because they're not really efficient at all. So just delete them and you're in a good spot. We do see the Juggernauts coming back out again, going to be trying to take down the town center, 3 of them. Heliopolis still sitting here to defend this. Mrboat's still with medium cavalry, even though he's got 1,300 food. Had a lot of gold before as well. There's the Titan up for HellsRavage, putting up 19 villages onto favor here. Wild. Alright. Let's see where he goes with it. He doesn't really need to hit this town center. It gets picked off by the Juggernauts. As they can kind of sit out of range of the Heliopolis as well, which it looks like they're doing. He's going to be... Well, he's looking like he's moving down this way anyways. I would have sent down this side, cleared out this, but I guess all the gold mines are on this side now. And HellsRavage with the Wonder. Okay. Nice and early. Not even trying here. Titan Gate's coming up now for Mrboat. We'll see if we can get that one up in time. It's gonna be a tough one. We do see the town center falls for Mrboat though. And Hells' Titan stopping here. He needs to run it forward. If you can actually, if you grab these 2 units here, you can do this crazy thing and like sort of speed walk the Titan a bit. We'll see if that's what he's trying to do. He's sending these units forward here. We do see some military buildings getting thrown up, or ghost buildings to get thrown up to delay the Titan, but I'm not sure it's going to be enough here. We do see the army coming over here. Sees the Titan. Try and delay it. No, not going to delay it. He's the Titan's just going to walk straight past here. Going to try and get us around. It's going to be fairly close. He can surround onto the town center, but he does not get it. The army just too slow because of the Heliopolis in the back. And the Titan's going to make it to this Titan Gate of Mrboat here easily, it looks like. And the surround happens, followed by the jumping attack. He can just pick off all these units. He's got time here. You do get a little bit unlucky there using the jumping attack. It's not as good as the stampy attack. Now the military academies get picked off. Titan makes its way through. Mrboat's still trying to put ghost buildings in. And the Titan is trying to find somewhere where he can start bashing away. And he's found it now. He's going to start taking this Titan Gate down. And that's going to spell complete disaster for Mrboat because he's invested so much into getting this up. The villagers all getting picked off as well while this is going on. And Mrboat decides to tap out in that moment. GG. Well played by HellsRavage, able to take this first game in the best of 3 series. Man, I feel like Hells had some options here. Like he didn't have to go for this strategy. It obviously worked for him, the tournament games. So there's nothing off the menu as it is, as it were. But takes the game there. Stops the Titan gate, and we're just gonna kill it. And then it would have been like a 3/4 HP Titan against nothing. And it would have been difficult to defend against that. So Hells takes game number 1. We'll move on to game number 2 very shortly. If you are enjoying these games, please hit the follow button on the Twitch. And if you're on the YouTubes, hit the subscribe button. And I'll see you guys in the next game.